For my practice board, I have the same type of wood with the same surface finish as my post, and I've glued down a couple of sample letters here. The grain is going in this direction, along here, along the uprights. Now there are two problems that we have to deal with to do with the uprights, and I'm going to show you the first one now. We start our uprights with a stab cut, like so, down the middle of the letter. Then we follow it with an angle cut. I'm going to take quite a big cut here so you can see the effect. This is an angle cut about 60 degrees. And can you see what's happened here? The fibres here tear out. The wedge of the bevel has pulled those fibres forward. And that of course will damage, you can see it here, that will damage the letter. So what we need to do is, before we make those angle cuts, is to put in, with a fishtail, put in a stab cut like so, and that will limit, and on this side, limit the effect of that tearing out. So that's the first thing we need to do. So I'll show you how that works with the letter H. Start your upright cut just inside the serif. Drop down the middle like this. Then you can shunt the tool up. This one isn't quite long enough, but we can marry this tool to the next cut, and there's our centre stab cut. So you go around all the letters and do that, and then you want to put in this stop cut, which goes from the end of the centre stop cut out to the tip of the serif. And the trick is, or the important thing is, that it's always in the waist, because this stop cut will disappear in the end. This is just to control the grain. So I go onto every serif, everywhere I can, and put in those stop cuts. Now when I come to my angle cut, it's stopped at the literally stopped at the stop cut, and one on this side. Now here's the waist. Now we come to the second problem. And the reason I've come inside the line is my way of addressing this. The second problem is, as I run down along the fibres, they tend to roll in front and tear up. So what I do when I'm cutting along the grain like this is to make my angle cut just inside the line, and then with a chisel that's a little bit narrower, like this one, I take slicing cuts like this. If I did that in slow motion, it would be coming down here like that. So it's not down this way, straight down. It's got a little bit of a slice like this. And that way you clean up the surface. So again, the tool is coming down, across like so. It's not straight down, across. And you can pull it this way if you like. This way. So between the two cuts, you should have clean surfaces, a nice root down the bottom, and two nice edges where the wall meets the surface. What you can do, and what I've started doing here, is to expand the letter at the end towards the serif. And this is what you do if you want the letter, what we call wasted. In other words, it's thinner here, and a letter that's spilling out and getting thicker. So from here, back down here, with the corner down in the root of the letter, you sort of take a cut, and that fills in all this space over here, like so. And on this side, you're coming back here again, equally, you take that whole corner off into the edge. So what we've got is much more of an expanded serif that's going nicely like this. So that's a variation you might like to do. Again, that should still be nice and tidy there. Let me show you on the other end here. In this case, if I've decided to do this long serif, I don't need to make this short one. So I can go straight from here, and I can work from the end outwards this direction, like so. And on this side, slicing the cuts. I do need a mallet here, it's a little bit hardwood. So to clean that up, so pushing down into that corner, down into that corner, and taking that off. So when I've removed this paper, I can just go and check that up, because sometimes the paper, its very thickness stops you seeing exactly what's happening. So you might need to tidy up these edges, but this should all be sliced and looking nice and clean. So there's a little bit comes off here. So I'll be doing all the serifs at the same time. I use this letter D as my example of a curve. There's no difference here between the curve going with the grain in this direction or in this direction. All done in the same way, which involves putting a stop cut down the middle. And as always, the stop cut is in the waist, perhaps down to about 1/3 of the depth, but definitely in the waist, and you can come along here, a bit of the stop cut as well. I've already done the upright and half the serif. On a hardwood you might like to just nibble out some of the waist first, so we'll do the outside of the letter first. So we've got some of that waist out, and then what you do is with the high angle grip, you, instead of just pushing down like this, you slice along so the tool is coming like so, very tight to the, so you've just got this just a little bit above the surface, very tight to the surface at 60 degrees, marrying each cut. And depending on the tool and the wood and how hard it is, you can make this as long as you can. So coming up to the line like so, all the way around. At some point this tool is going to be too quick a curve, like as it comes around here, and won't cut in here, so we need to switch to a flatter one. And then once we've done the outside, we go to a flatter gouge on the inside, take a little bit of that away here, and then we do the same sort of slicing cut, but this time the tool is upside down, if you like. So we're swinging it around like so. So it swings around, and you marry this cut down the bottom of the root with the one on the other side. So this cut here, which comes up to the line, merging in, marries this one from this side here, and you should try and end up with the root in the middle of the two walls. So as you come round here, we're going to find that this flatter tool is the one we need, and I can just take some of that out here like that. Oops. So swinging round like so, merging those in and merging this in like that. Now the very bottom edge here is flat across there, so I can use my flat chisel and merge the serif in there like that. For that tight little corner, I'll switch to a tighter tool and wind it round like that. And push that corner down into the serif. That'll need tidying up a little bit. But the top I'll do in the same sort of way. Come along here. sweep that round. You can see how this is pivoting on my thumb like this. So you'll end up with a nice fat thumb if you do a lot of lettering. So merging all these cuts together. And again, once you've got the paper off towards the end, then you can just check over. Oops, this one. So this serif, I'm going to expand a little bit on this side here. So this wall, just a little bit, so it matches the serif on the other side. That's essentially how you do all the curves, whether it's an S or a B, in a stop cut, outside wall, inside wall, merging it into the serifs. So I'll just make sure that's really clean as possible before moving on to the next one. There you go.